Thank you for being here. Welcome, welcome. Welcome to So Basic with a Little Extra. If we haven't met yet, my name is Anna Zugari, and I'm a basic girl with just a little extra by bringing in guests and sharing the goodness that they're spreading in the world. So today is a bonus episode because, we usually meet on Thursdays here, but it's a special day. It's a very, very special day, Father's Day. We're celebrating our husbands, our fathers. And I just recently met somebody very, very special that I think it has a lot to share for us today in this space. And he's a certified professional coach. And we want to ask all kinds of questions and hear from him and motivate us. And if you haven't had the chance, because there's dads that work on Sundays, to celebrate your dads in your families, maybe we can get some ideas today. So without any further ado, I want to introduce to you my new friend, hopefully for the rest of my life, because he has a lot to share. Um, Mr. David Price. Let's see, where are you? Right there.
Yeah.
Hello.
How are you?
Doing good. Thank you so much. Thank you for
Good.
being here. I got something for you to welcome you to the show.
Oh my oh my goodness. Look at that.
So
Wow.
confetti, and I love that we do this virtually so we don't have to clean it up.
No kidding. No kidding. I love it. Well, I've in all the podcasts I've been on, I've never gotten the confetti, Anna. So you're my new favorite show. How about that?
Thank you so much. That makes me so happy. Thank you. Thank you. So, David, would you share with our audience a little bit about yourself? What do you do, and why are you so awesome helping people?
Well, so I'm David Price. I'm originally from Kentucky, and now I live in coastal North Carolina. I've been here about 20 years. I've been a minister in three churches total for over 30 years. I'm married to Tracy, and I have three children in their 20s and one grandson. And I'm also, as I mentioned, as Anna mentioned, a certified professional life coach. And so I do a couple of things. I help people, men and women, achieve their goals, and also help husbands and fathers who are stressed and frustrated and taking that stuff out on their families. I help them stop doing that. So just a little bit about me.
That's awesome. I really appreciate all the content that you put out there. And friends, if you're watching the replay or you're joining us now, you can please let us know in the comments you have any questions. We'll make sure that David gets all those and connect with him. But one of the things that has been very impressive to me, it's your daily prompts that you put on Facebook. It that basically reminds me to love, respect, and help be supportive to my husband. And this is why I love also the digital space and how a lot of people say, well, social media is so evil, and they talk about that all the time, but my way of thinking is that God creates things in this world, but we can make them out of this world by using it for His glory. And I think you're doing that really, really well on your Facebook page. But again, because it's Father's Day, I want to for you to share with us a little bit about what is the one of the biggest breakdowns that we're having in society right now. It's the missing the father figure. And some of my audience, they are not sharing the faith that I profess. So there is this little thing right here, like, okay, so you don't necessarily have to hear me when I talk to you about God, but can you start by telling us a little bit about, okay, everybody, here's what you need a father figure in your life?
Well, I can certainly speak from personal experience, Anna. My father died when I was 7, and he was 44, which is when I was young seemed really old, but now I understand that dying at 44 is really, really young.
Yeah.
And so it left myself and my mother. I'm an only child, as anybody who knows me will tell you that I am the ultimate spoiled only child. But I lost my father when I was 7, and that was for many years that was ruinous to my life. And a lot of that was what I allowed to happen. I used it as an excuse for failure and dysfunction and inability to succeed. And so that's a whole other conversation. But not having my father was excessively detrimental to me as a person. I was missing the
Mm,
one half of the equation that God intended to be in my home. And you can't subtract half of an equation without doing significant damage. And I know that a lot of people act like that dads aren't necessary, they're not important, we can do without them. And sometimes we have to do without them, like my mother did, like I did. But the fact is that fathers are extremely important. Research continues to demonstrate that children who have involved fathers, even if they're not present in the home, maybe it's a divorce situation or they were never married, but the father continues to be present and active, juvenile delinquency goes down, teen pregnancy goes down, misbehavior in school goes down, depression goes down, attempted suicide goes down when fathers are involved. So the research backs it up, experience backs it up, my life backs it up. I was very, very damaged by not having my father in my life. And so it is extremely important. And so, um, whatever situation a man may find himself in, married, divorced, never married to the mother of his children, he needs to be involved as much as possible. It does make a
mm,
significant difference in the welfare of that child.
mhm. Yes, well, and as a former children's ministry leader, I saw that too, that the difference in the lack of fatherhood in the home. But so we're talking about good fathers, right? And the topic I am referring also to what God does for us. You mentioned about you losing your dad in such a young age, and some of us we also carry. Like I lost my dad. Probably I lost count now. It's 9 or 10 years ago, and still I don't think it's it does matter the age that you lose your father, but it creates an impact in your life, definitely. And so I think that when me also personally going through that step of losing my dad, we can come in with saying like, okay, I have a heavenly father that can fill up that void. And you just lean into the spiritual side of it, to do that. But what I think also, what do you think about this? We are uncles, we are neighbors, we are friends, we are church members. How can men step up and fill up that void in our own community?
And I've got chills right now. I was just wanting to talk about that, and you brought it up. You're amazing. So yes, it was true in my life that after I lost my father, there were lots of men in church, in sports, in school, but three men in particular who were in my life, who were very much surrogate fathers or older brothers to me, without whom I do not know where I would be.
Mm,
They were not perfect, but you don't have to be perfect in order to have a positive impact on a child that needs a father. And one thing, so not only am I a life coach, just last year I stepped away from sports coaching
mm,
for over 20 years. I
wow.
coached youth sports and school sports. And one thing that I determined, I was never that great of a coach of X's and O's and game management and that sort of thing. But one thing that I made it my mission to do was to be a father figure to all of those young men and a few women that I had, the girls that I had over the years as well, but mostly boys. But I made it my mission to be a father figure to them. Many of them had great dads already, but you can't have too much of a good thing. Many of them had dads who were absentee dads. They were never at a game, never brought them to a practice. They were checked out at home. Many of them were not in the home. And so to those young men, being a father figure to them, listening to them, teaching them more than free throws or blocking, was very important to me. And those kids still call me coach. Some of them reach out to me on Father's Day and wish me.
Yeah, because the impact that you're doing in their lives, it just keeps going in. And that's,
Yeah.
I see your emotions, and it melts my heart too, because it's not only what you're doing for those kids, but what those kids are doing for you.
Absolutely. Thank you for the rescue there, by the way. I wasn't sure what I was going to do there, but so what I would encourage men to do is to be present in the lives of as many young people as you can. You can do it through coaching sports. You can do it through, getting involved in other things, whether it's drama or singing or whatever it is, where you can find boys and young men who need that. Be a volunteer, be present in your neighborhood, be active in church. But the big thing, Anna, is just to notice when you're in a crowd or you're around people, just notice them, notice the people, notice the boys, talk to them, listen to them, ask about them, and just be present for them. And I remember as a boy and a young man, whenever an adult male would notice me or an older boy would notice me, I was on top of the world because I usually thought that I didn't matter a whole lot. Just noticing a boy or a young man, seeing them, talking to them, listening to them is unbelievably huge to that young man.
Yes. So I have 2 daughters. We don't have sons, right? And my daughter has a lot of friends that are boys in school and stuff. And my husband, he is very intentional. And my youngest, she plays soccer. That when we go to the games, my husband pays attention and talks to the boys that are around there. And the other day, he was just sitting watching a baseball game or something, and his phone goes off, and he's like, wait, what? And it was one of the boys texting him like, hey, Mr. Zugary, how you doing? And he took turn to Emma, and it's like, hey, it's Griffin. He's texting me. He's like, oh yeah, he asked me for your phone number the other day. So those little things, I see how that works. And also, our house, don't mean to brag, but our house is a fun house where all the kids want to be, right? So again, it's a win-win situation. And because we don't have that experience of raising a boy, for us, it's very fun. It's welcoming to have those young men here and spend some time with that. But let me ask you a little something there, because we're talking about fathers, but in the same sense, what can a father do when they have daughters and they don't have sons? And especially right now, I see it with the teenage daughters. What is the most important thing that you can give us that they should do with their daughters?
What a great, and again, we're in sync. I was just thinking that I didn't want to make this all about boys because there are girls too who need fathers. And, we don't ever want to get this idea that a relationship with a dad is not important for girls. It is crucially important for girls. And I think, Anna, that, and this is what I think I've seen, but I'm no expert. But I think that so many of the things that we see in girls that are disturbing or risky behavior from girls, so much of that stems from not having a healthy relationship or having no relationship with a dad. And I think that so many times what girls are seeking is that what they did not get from a relationship with their dad. So as the father, and I have a daughter. My middle child is a girl. I have just showered or tried to shower love on her, affection through appropriate physical touching, through words. It's a big deal at my house to say I love you. I'm proud of you. To spend time with her, to do. She and I were just at lunch together, just she and I the other day, to pay attention to her, to let her know that she's noticed and important. There's so many messages, Anna, that are sent to girls that if you don't do this, if you don't look this way, if you don't dress this way, if you don't do these things, then you're not acceptable as a girl or a woman. And just to let her know that she's loved exactly the way that she is. But spending time is so much of it. And letting her know that she is lovable and that she is loved, and she doesn't have to do anything to earn that. She doesn't have to give in to anything to be worthy or lovable. She is that already, and that she is very, very important. So, I mean, I don't think that dads have to do anything out of the ordinary with girls other than just have a relationship with them and make that a priority. I think that's all it is.
Yeah, I think so. Well, right here, that experience, right? My dad worked all the time and it was hard. It was the provision, and he was not there present as much as I would have want to. He loved me, and I know that. And he called me the queen of the house. I wasn't the princess, I was the queen of the house. And I'm pretty sure my mom didn't like that, but so I can testify to that. You go and seek out, or the first boy that tells you like, oh, pretty hair, you just run out there, right? So I think it is vital. But we talk about practical things to be a good dad to boys and girls. But how important, like on those elements that we talk about, support, moral support, and the physical provision, because we have to take that into account. But what do you think it's the weight of having a spiritual you know coaching, or a spiritual I don't know, mentoring into, as a father to our children? Like so there, I know some people, some fathers, and he's a good dad, like very involved, looking for organic food all the time and setting rules and all that stuff. But there is no going to church. There's no God. It's like, oh well, I'm gonna let him choose his spiritual God whenever he gets older.
Right. Yeah.
So
yeah.
What do you think about that?
Well, I think it's a mistake. I think that, and the evidence shows that when a father is spiritually strong, when he is solid in the faith, his family nearly always will follow that. His family nearly always will model what he's doing. If he isn't, I've known dads over the years and husbands who have encouraged their families to go to church and to encourage them in their faith, but did not do it. And so, it's do as I say, not as I do. And that, as you know, and that just doesn't work. So I think when we leave out the spiritual training and the spiritual modeling, we're leaving out the most important thing that we can give them. When it's all said and done, and we can give our kids a big house, a Harvard education, sports championships, fancy clothes. We can do all of those things, and there's nothing wrong with any of them. But if we have not prepared our families for eternity, then we haven't really done anything of ultimate
Yeah.
value. And and I want to speak to this because I was not great at this. I
Mm.
tried, and I was not good at it, at spiritual training and praying with my kids, studying with my kids. I was not good at that. And
Mm.
so we have seen the effects of that. And
Mm.
I would not wish that on anyone. Um, so I would encourage every dad. You're going to feel weird praying with your family. You're going to feel weird trying to study with them, especially if you don't know the Bible all that well yourself. It doesn't matter how good you are, doesn't matter how smooth you are. What matters is that you do it. Anybody, literally anybody, can sit down, read a paragraph with their family, and say a quick prayer. And
Mhm.
that is better than not doing anything at all.
Yeah.
So I would do something. I don't care what it is. It's better than nothing.
Yes, I love that. I absolutely love that. And especially that you mentioned that you don't have to know the Bible and the weirdness of starting that practice with your family. It happened to us too, but the my husband and I became believers in 2006. So it was weird because none of us came from families that were used to do that, and it was like, oh my gosh, we look, we have to even hold hands. It was super super weird, and now it's weird not to do it,
Yeah.
and we don't
Yeah.
do like intense things. We pray
Mhm.
before we eat, we pray before we leave the house, and little things like that, and we talk about passages that we read in our own times, and we don't have a dedicated Bible study time, right? But yeah, I can see how that it happens in our house now. And um and I think that the leader, the father, being the head of the household, sets the tone, right? Like you said, it's not, I'm telling you to go, or even not allowing the church to minister to your kids and that's it, right? Like,
Right, right.
take
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yes,
it's a,
100%. And it's frightening. And and I didn't learn how to do it by example because my father was dead. I didn't see how it
mhm.
was done. So it's really scary. And we're afraid of looking foolish in front of our family. We're afraid of looking weak or incompetent. But I will tell you, Anna, you could speak to this better than me. I think I'm accurate here that a wife and the children at some point, not always, because kids don't always appreciate what they will later, but I can tell you that a Christian wife would much rather see her husband try to do a family devotion and really stink it up than not do it at all. The
Yes.
wife is longing for,
Mhm.
she's hurting for spiritual leadership, and she just wants to see you do anything. Just try it.
Yeah.
And she's going to be 100% behind you. And then from there, it just keeps getting better.
Yeah, it creates the ripple effect.
Yes, yes.
It's so, yeah. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad you said that. And it like again, well, that was going to be my next question. Like, how can wives support their husbands to be good fathers?
Yeah, what a fantastic question because it's a team effort. There's no question. I think a lot of things we could talk about. I think just verbally encouraging and supporting. I think a lot of times as men, we act like we don't need that sort of thing. We sort of have a reputation for not needing that sort of thing, and that's just not true.
Yeah.
We need to hear from our wives that they support us unconditionally, that they're with us, that they're behind us. And I don't mean behind us in the sense that I'm way behind you, as some sort of a servant. I don't mean that,
Mhm.
but I'm behind you to support you, is what I mean.
Yeah.
We need to hear that, and we need for our wives to demonstrate that when we mess up, and we're going to mess up. We need our wives to say, listen, I'm with you 100%. that thing you did, I don't like it. I don't agree with it. But that doesn't mean I'm attacking you. I'm still with you. I'm trying to help you get better.
Yeah.
Another thing that wives can do is not undermine the decisions of their husbands. You know, a lot of times, particularly when the dad's out of the home working and the mom maybe is at home or she's home more, a lot of times dad will decide something and moms will say, well, listen, I'm going to let you do that. Just don't tell your dad. Or I know dad said not to do this. Don't do that. And it's not because it's the dad. Husbands shouldn't do that to their wives either. No dad should go, well, I know mom doesn't want you to eat that, but don't tell her.
Yeah.
That is one of the most horrific things that we can do in a family.
Yeah.
Moms and dads need to be unified. They need to get together and decide how things are going to be, and then present a united front and stick with it when the other person is not around. I cannot think of anything more damaging to the children, the marriage, and the home than a husband, a mother, and father who are not in agreement and who undermine each other. That's as bad as it gets, in my view.
Oh my gosh. Been there, done that. So, and I was talking to a friend last night, actually, about how, because of our society, and I think it's missing that the component of God leading the man and families and the spiritual part of it, that men have left the house and then women come in and take over and then even take that responsibility from men without any regards of like, okay, you need to be like, even if you're separated or you're not here, you need to give that back, give that power to the man to be that presence, right? In
100%, 100%. And, and wives, most of the women I know, Anna, are good and they want to do the right thing. They try hard to do the right thing. And I don't in any way want to indicate that most women out there have this huge problem where they're wrecking things that's not true at all. Most of the women I know are really conscientious about doing it the right way and getting it right. But sometimes we can do damage and not really know that we're doing damage or think that we're doing good. And so you're right. But so much can be eliminated if moms and dads, whatever the home situation, if moms and dads would just get together and say, okay, here are the big things that we need to come to some agreement on. Let's do that. Yeah. Let's commit to that. And then let's present a united front to the kids. I'm not going to undermine you. Don't undermine me. And let's do this together. I mean, so much more effective than this divided leadership.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that when we do that and we don't see the damage that we're causing to our children because they're very smart, so they will use that to leverage, and then it becomes this big old thing that then you're like, okay, there's no way back, coming back from that. And so yeah, it's wonderful to understand, be aware, and do what you can do a little part. And sometimes we think like maybe there are some people, like my husband is very introvert, so the going out there and being friends with other men and all that kind of stuff, he likes doing little things or just doing with the one. Like right now he took my nephew for a run, and so it's just those little things, right? It doesn't have to be in a big scale. And maybe you'll find out as a dad that hey, wait a minute, I can do more and become more, the hands and feet of Jesus out there.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what we know, Anna, we just know this to be true, that any sort of personal growth or goal achievement happens with small incremental steps. And so, we don't want people to get the idea that, if you're a dad who wants to be a better dad, or maybe you're just really struggling. And I mean, really, just really need to get a lot better. We don't want to give anybody the idea that, hey, here's 10 things you need to go do right now. And you got to get, don't, that's not that way.
Right.
Do one small thing today that's better than you did it yesterday.
Mm.
And just each day do some little tiny, just stupid, easy thing
Mm-hmm.
that will move you in the right direction. And what you'll find is that you're a lot more powerful than you know, you're more capable than you know, you're more able to change than you know. And, Anna, after 6 months of tiny changes, you've made a lot of big change.
Yeah, a lot of progress. And then those are habits that you're building on and that here to
100%.
stay. Yeah, you taste the goodness and you'll see, right?
Absolutely.
Well, David, thank you so much. I can talk to you for days, I think.
Same here, Annie. You're fantastic. You're really good at this.
Oh,
Your show and your work are so important. And
thank
I
you.
want to just express my gratitude. Thanks for having me. However I can support you or promote you, I want you to let me know because you're a voice that needs to be out there.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. But before we close the show, I have a little fun part. And friends, if you're watching on the replay or right now, we want you to play with us. If David, you're for it, I have some fire fun
Sure,
rapid questions.
sure.
Yeah. Okay. So I didn't really pick the questions. The
Oh
wheel is gonna
my.
pick
We're
the
man,
questions.
look at
Okay.
this.
So
Wow.
we'll see what we get. All
Oh
right.
boy.
So we're gonna go with it. I think I need to add some like suspense music to this.
No kidding.
Let's see. Favorite quote.
Oh boy, there are so many, but I guess I would probably have to say that successful people get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, go out there and try something new because
Absolutely.
that's a good one. Okay, here comes number
Oh
two.
wow, what is this?
Ooh, what is your
Hmm.
favorite word in another
How
language?
cool is that? Well, probably shalom, which in Hebrew means peace. I think that's
Yes.
probably, which sounds great, and I love the meaning.
Yes, I love it too. Very nice. Okay, number three. Here we go.
Oh, this is so much fun.
What is not a big deal to most people, but is torture to you?
I wish my wife was here. I've got a million of these, but probably having to, this is weird, Anna, but having to touch a wooden spoon.
Really?
I do not touch wooden spoons ever.
That's a funny one. Who is your favorite hero?
Well, I mean, Jesus, of course, but if we're talking about superheroes, probably Batman.
Batman. Yeah, it's such a classic. I mean, you can't go wrong with Batman.
Never, never.
Okay, here comes the last one.
All right.
Let's see what we get. What was the last song you heard?
Oh my lands, probably. Wow. Well, I can't come up with it now. Try and love again by the Eagles.
Nice. Well,
That was
it's a good.
fun.
Yes, it was a good thing that I don't remember the lyrics of that because sometimes when I do this, I get the song stuck in my head for the rest of the day. So,
I know.
you know,
I know.
I have to concentrate today. But again, David, this was amazing. I had so much fun.
Me too.
It was a good reminder of how we can remember our Father and how can we mimic that in so many ways. Is there any particular thing that you're doing for Father's Day to celebrate with your family? That's the last question.
No, we're extremely low key. We don't do a lot of special celebrations, especially on a day like that, because the restaurants are so busy. So we come home, do presents, and hang out. So we're low key.
Yeah, well, that's exactly what my husband told me this year. He wants to build a little table. He has some of those cars that you play with the remote
Yeah,
control.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So they break all the time. So he
Oh
wants
my
a
man.
little table to work on them and stuff. So
Awesome.
I think that's what he's gonna do this Father's Day. I'm
Awesome.
gonna gift him with the wood and he's gonna try to build it.
Awesome. That's so cool. Well, wish him a happy Father's Day for me,
Thank you
please.
so much. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
again, friends, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, and you can connect with David. You'll have all the links in the comments. Please check him out, check his Facebook page, and connect with him. You'll be blessed even by being having his feed on your feed. Everything that he posts on a daily basis is a good reminder of, how to be a good father. So again, thank you so much.
Thank
We'll see
you.
you next Thursday. God bless you. Don't forget to love Jesus, obey Jesus, and tell everyone about him. Bye.